from the look standpoint, I think Marvel got Storm right. However, I think Maya Boyd's casting here signals something that I don't prefer as it pertains to a lot of the casting decisions that they've made so far for X-Men, with the exception of Sinister, obviously. Driver is Sinister.
Adam Driver, yeah.
And I say that because the more Marvel announces of this cast, it's very obvious that they're making it a younger X-Men who are supposedly supposed to develop and become, full force X-Men over time. I just don't know if I'm here for a Gen Z X-Men team. Like, I don't know that I ever thought that that's where we would be. I don't want to shit on, this whole X-Men team too much. Let's focus on Storm. Let's focus on Maya. You were on stream and you said that you liked the casting. Mm-hmm. Like I said, from a look standpoint, she definitely looks the part. But I guess I don't know too much. So sell me on this Storm, and I guess we could start with how Storm is supposed to look.
There's a reason. There's a lot of reasons actually why I love this pick. Right. Obviously, I was in Jamie Lawson's camp. That was my pick for Storm. Would have really liked to have seen her grab that. But to be frank, with Sadie Sink and Kit Connor, and even India Neveretti to a certain degree, like there's like Jamie Lawson and how she pops off a screen and like, man, that's Jamie Lawson, Perlene, that's the mayor from Batman, and then like sitting her next to Sadie Sink, it's like she drove all of them there.
Yeah,
like that's their mom or something. Like there's no way they the same age, they do the same things, they walk the same ground.
Or at the very least, older sister.
It just don't even, you know what I mean? Like, it just, no, hell no. Like, she came from another planet compared to these mutants. Ain't no way.
Yeah.
Ain't no way. So, like, I don't know if that played a role at all. Probably not. It's just us fucking thinking. But I don't want to say out of place. Out of place is the wrong way to say. Mm-hmm. It's just that looking at them as a team, it would be hard not to notice Jamie Lawson over everybody else. It just doesn't blend. Everybody else also is very underknown. Like, they don't really have long filmographies. Neveretti is probably the biggest quote unquote star right now. I mean, I guess Samara Weaving has had a couple movies, but in terms of recency, she's got the momentum in her corner, but all relatively no-name actors.
Yeah.
They haven't built a career or a reputation in Hollywood yet. That's not necessarily the case for Jamie Lawson right now. So not just in aesthetic and how she looks next to all of them, but also, a little bit, it could come to a point where reputation starts the negotiations a little bit higher.
Yeah.
Now we had a different pay scale than everybody else. The group that they set, they went after actors who didn't really have a lot to negotiate with, number one, and aren't, tied or known for other characters just yet.
Or maybe known for one or two.
Or things that you can, put to the side and continue on in some other genre.
And regardless, a Marvel casting is going to be the biggest thing.
But with Maya, she's tall. She's like 5'8". For a girl, that's tall.
Yeah.
With the dark skin aspect of it, they went lighter than Halle. They went darker than Halle in the last iteration that they went. They stopped short of, Jodie Turner-Smith. Definitely closer to me than to her. I don't think that she's not so light that it causes a problem for me.
I would agree with that.
Like, it doesn't feel like the same old Marvel trend of, like, getting these ultra-high yellow women to play Storm.
Facts.
Or Fox, even. And then it was Fox, wasn't Marvel. Oh, yeah, Marvel. Whatever.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel that way, but I still do hear people that was like, oh, they were scared to go get an actual, like, a dark skin woman. Tall, athletic-looking, talented. She's a Broadway actor. Mm-hmm. So, like, she's a theater actor. That there's like, or you would expect there to be like a good thespian nature there.
And I think that plays well for commanding power, emotion, which some Marvel actors do have a problem with emotion. So I think that's always a good thing.
I'll even hit on the controversial thing. It is nice that she's American. Right? We don't have to have this conversation again about like, oh, well, why we can't get a job? Why they like the British actors over the American black actors? Like, hey, listen, man. No such conversation is being had.
Sure.
It's refreshing. It is.
Yeah.
It's refreshing. To me, the bigger issue on Storm is that, one, she wasn't represented as this ultra fair-skinned, thin-haired, lack of textured type of black woman that they've tried to push her as in the last two iterations. If you take a look at this woman and how she presents herself, if those are the things that attracted Jake Shire to her or whoever did this casting, I don't feel like that's the route. Like I haven't seen a single picture of this girl with her hair straightened yet. Not a single one. Mm-hmm. But we'll see. Yeah. We'll see. It's kind of ball in their court right now. But again, if the things that they saw of her, right? She's a true actor. She's a thespian by trade, not just a budding celebrity, playing a game. This is her craft. And I don't know, man. I just feel like it fits.
Do you think her... Not that this is usually a problem for theater actors, but do you think, because we're moving into Marvel specifically, that her lack of screen experience plays any kind of factor in this at all?
They all lack experience. Everybody on that stage lacks experience. In this and what they're about to do, no one is really prepared. Hell, I mean, we can move on from Storm and talk about the rest of the cast. We spent a lot of time on Storm, and with Spider-Man just coming out, we've been talking about Jean Grey. The most controversial up there on that stage is Professor X. He looks like he's barely too old to be kicking it with them, but oddly too young to play a father figure.
Yeah.
So I have no idea what the dynamic's going to be like. You brought up a point about with them all being young, it being like a Gen Z X-Men. I thought they were going the route of X-Men Evolution, right? Same age, Professor X and Magneto, but we're tweaking the team a little bit so that Storm is an older woman. She's a teacher. She's an instructor. Scott and Jean are two of the elders that are still in the school, but they're still kids. Kurt is younger. Kitty's younger. Rogue's younger. Like, it's a nice mixture where you can kind of pick and choose your pieces. Plus, it applies to some stuff that you already got going on. Hugh Jackman is Wolverine as an older guy, and so on and so on. Like, it kind of fits in there. They ain't doing that. Just everybody gonna be young.
Yeah.
Everybody gonna be young. And so there's not really a roadmap for a 30-something-year-old Xavier, who's also now has the school at that age, has Scott and Jean and Storm all as kids at that age. Right? There's no roadmap for millennial Professor X. Also, how are we working Magneto into this whole thing? Because Magneto allegedly historically, his roots begin in that of World War I or World War II. So how the hell? So he 100 years old? He's 100, and Professor X is like 32. Like, it's just like, okay, we got to figure some of this stuff out. And I would not anticipate any potential already established X-Men roadmaps for what they're doing with the X-Men, which is exciting on one hand, but it's also nerve-wracking and frustrating on the other end, because I don't know how many times we play this song and dance where we be thinking, oh, no, but this original idea, this is the one that'll win them over. Like, this is the one. Yeah. It's I don't know. We got a long way to go. More characters to see. But the castings do call some things about how they plan to go forward with this into question. Mm-hmm. Seems to be a totally original route based off of what we've seen so far.
I'll say this. For me, personally, the Gen Z X-Men of it all is more of a personal hang-up, because I guess my expectations were that we were going to see something a little bit different. Stamina?
Dwayne Coleman.
But at the same time, I guess it makes sense for Marvel, right? They get an X-Men team that they can carry through potentially multiple phases. They get to kind of rewrite the whole thing how they want it. But the last thing that I personally would want is an X-Men team, a Storm, kind of seeming juvenile, naive at times, where I know Storm to be a wise character throughout all of this. Like, how does Wolverine kind of fit into this whole thing? I guess I have questions that a Gen Z X-Men is just not really answering for me. And again, it could be a personal hang up, but I guess for this, it depends on how they're going to write their way through it. And Marvel hasn't given me any reason to trust them.
It depends on how long they plan to stay there. Like, if this is a property that they plan to park in young adult land for a generation, oh boy, that is, at least I don't think that's what the majority of people who have been I know this Avenger stuff has kind of sucked here lately, but just wait till they get the X-Men, bro. Just wait till they get the X-Men, bro. Wait till Secret Wars, we're getting X-Men, everything's gonna be fine, bro. Everything's gonna be great. Just wait till they get X-Men. I don't think that's what they envisioned. I don't think they envisioned 5 to 10 years of teenage, young adult type of storytelling. Mm-hmm. I'm just an individual, but y'all can tell me if we are going to have the X-Men basically be like Maze Runner or Divergent, like the Divergent series. Is that appealing to the adult X-Men crowd? Is that enough to get us in our feels? Because it seems like that's the initial audience they plan to enter through with this cast, is the young adult audience. They're not necessarily getting to the 25 to 40s, or else they would have cast grown women and, older men.
Yeah.
How long are we there? A movie? Cool. If we're talking Wolverine and Magneto by the second movie, all right, no harm, no foul. It's an origin story. But if they plan to milk it until, all these people are into their 40s and just kind of like slow play it the whole time there, I think that's a mistake. I think people are thirsty for X-Men, but they're thirsty for adult X-Men stories. There's only so much intrigue for Jean Scott and Aurora in high school. There's only so much leash you got with that. Yeah. With me and I think a lot of X-Men fans. So
literally, that's I think that's my problem with it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how don't need to see X-Men Bel-Air. So how quickly can we usher this
all American X-Men?
You know what I'm saying? How quickly can we get out of X-Men Degrassi is what we're saying.
Yes, facts.